It's time for another top 5 list presented by Wisconsin's leaders in STEM, the University of Wisconsin-Platteville. UW-Platteville's exciting STEM programs make it a top university in Wisconsin and the Midwest region. In fact, UW-Platteville is ranked in the top 20 for regional universities here in the Midwest. Find out more at uwplatt.edu. So I mentioned it at the top, but it is like the dog days of sports in Wisconsin. I understand the Bucks are playing and the Badgers and Marquette, GB, obviously, Milwaukee.
Can't you go shoot something this time of year?
No, can't do that anymore. And that's what I'm talking about. Like,
it's tough.
My loves are on the back burner at the moment. I was thinking about today's top 5 list, and I said, I wonder if it'd be fun to do a top 5 list of what Wisconsin sports fans do during this time between the Super Bowl and March Madness. So I'll run down my list, but you do it at the same time. Here's my number 5.
Yeah.
I wrote down attempt to lose the weight you lost from January 1st to the day before the Super Bowl, because I put on all the weight that I had lost that one day. So back on the wagon. But that's
your number 5.
Day, well, let's get back on
your number 5 is a diet.
Healthy eat. Yes. Let's choose to eat healthier now before March Madness hits, because it all goes to hell then as well.
Got it. Because my number 5 was drink. And then I realized that's a whole top 5. So we'll just make that honorable. I have a very similar one, only it's the opposite. And my number 5 is just I go into a cheese coma. I swallow my feelings, and usually it's Colby Jack.
Hey, we learned from our guy at Carbless that cheese, good snack, low carbs.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan. Number 4, consider buying a new grill before spring hits. The Farm and Fleet grill section is busy this time of year.
Okay.
I go back and forth. I want charcoal, and then I have charcoal, and I'm sick of buying charcoal, so then I get a gas grill. And now I have a Traeger, and I miss charcoal. And it's like, what? Whatever.
How do you feel about the big green egg?
A buddy of mine talked to me about that this morning. Apparently, that is the cat's meow of grilling with, literally talked about it this morning, grilling with fire, and yet having the smoker. He told me they're $2,000, so that's how I feel about it.
It's been out a while, but it's a good way to make your turkey. My number 4 is I like to complain about the Brewers' lack of offense, and they haven't really even started yet. But that's that'll sustain me almost deep into September. I like to start early. Don't forget opening day right around the corner, March 28th at the Mets. What's sexier than the Brewers opening against the Mets in New York? But anyway, so that's my number 4.
Isn't that where Stearns went?
Yes.
No, there's a story there. Whatever. Yeah. Number 3, go to church twice a week and eat fish on Fridays and Wednesdays. Lent.
Don't people do that all 52 weeks of the year? What am I missing in there?
Not Wednesdays and not on that's the Lenten season.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my number 3 is tearing up my NCAA bracket after the first day. That's what I do during the off season. So, in my defense, I do that because, as you know, as I fill out a bracket, Kansas never gets out of the first round.
Right.
And so a lot of that's the end. So that's number 3. I just fill out the bracket and then I tear it up.
Number 2, golf the second a course opens and let somebody walk, even if it's 47 degrees and windy.
Are you the shorts guy? I always tell every club has the shorts guy. Doesn't matter what the temperature is. If he's playing, he has to wear shorts. Are you that guy? Okay,
nope, absolutely not. Don't have to be that guy.
My number 2 is always reminding people I would have drafted Barry Sanders over Tony Mandrich. The draft is coming up, and I'm like, listen, my first year in the business, all I did in the fall of '88 was follow Barry Sanders around and do cover all his games as a photographer. And I'm like, that guy is different than anybody I've ever seen. And if they don't pick him, that's going to be a big miss. And lo and behold,
miss.
There you go. But I've only been on that thing now, 36 years that they should have drafted Barry Sanders. So that's what I do a lot. People are getting ready for the draft. The Packers need a corner right now. Are they going to go offensive line? I go, I don't know what that is, but I know what they should have done in '88. They should have taken Barry Sanders over Tony Mandrich.
The number one thing that Wisconsinites do between the Super Bowl and March Madness, leave Wisconsin. I wrote down, get the hell out of Wisconsin to someplace where you can see the sun more than once a week.
Man, you're hard on the state.
Well, this time of year, man, there's not a lot that we offer fellas that don't do well in the dark. I'll put it that way. I need to get someplace for spring break where the sun comes out more than once an hour at best. It's been a long, I saw the sun today, but it's been a minute before that. It's super gray here.
Okay. Well, I see that. Like, you don't want to go into a shanty and wallpaper it with dirty pictures or anything like that. A lot of people like to do that. As you know, that's a pick me up.
I don't like the idea of falling through the ice. That scares the crap out of me. I don't do ice fishing.
So
that
your
is the
number one
thing
is actually to leave Wisconsin in the middle of the winter. I came back to Wisconsin.
Yes, you did. And it was gray. It was gray.
It was terrible. I'll give you that. So my number one thing I like to do is just go spear a sturgeon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like just cut a nice hole in the ice, give me that trident, and then just have you ever tried to explain sturgeon spearing to people outside of Wisconsin or Upper Michigan? It's fantastic.
Yeah,
it is. Like when I lived in Oklahoma and I tried to tell people, like, no, literally. And then you get this fish and you pull it out and it's literally like related to a dinosaur. And some are 100 years old. And then you try to explain to them that, there are certain rules because, Native Americans they have different fishing rules than other people. And you're like, you stand there in the ice and you hope one swims by and you see a shadow and then you just go like that and pull it out. And people are like, that's not I'm like, it's a thing that happens. And then now on the internet, you can find it and they're like, you guys are absolutely cave people. Right?
Bonkers.
Yeah.
Have house will travel.
So that's my favorite thing to do is just try to get out there and spear me a sturgeon. I know you like to sit in trees and stuff. I just like to spear sturgeon.
You've never done that, right?
Not once.
Would you?
Oh my God, yes. I could be all, and I hate fishing with a passion, right? But that's not fishing. Awesome. That's because that's not fishing. That's literally, that is just primal stuff. Like I feel like all of us at some point, just innately, the human condition is like, we should probably go take something sharp and spear that fish.
Get John sturgeon spearing. We're going to make that happen. We got a year or so until that comes back around, but we're going to do another.
I would encourage people who are like you on spring break. They're leaving. They're doing whatever. They got it. Wherever you are, you're going to see Disney Orlando because right now I'm still a company man or whatever. You're going to the Outer Banks. When people go, where are you from? Blah, blah. And they say, well, why are you here? Don't say spring break. Say, well, the sturgeon spearing season is just terrible. And then explain to them what it is and just watch their reaction.
It was a warm year. We couldn't spear the sturgeon this year, so we're getting out of Dodge.
Is not the season's terrible. We had to get out, so we just came down here. Oh, really? What's sturgeon spearing? And then explain to them what sturgeon spearing is, and just, I think it's so entertaining to watch people as they think that's not really a thing, Yeah, no, we go out with the Krugs. Actually, is who you do it with, the Cape people, and yeah. So that's my number one thing.
Yep. Got it. All right. Well,
we're
going to make that your number one thing one of these years. That is happening.